Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Thank you for joining me. Let me share some info with you. Hopefully, share it with your friends and family. And what we have here is a major news coming out of Arizona, a potential huge victory for Kari Lake in her lawsuit against Katie Hobbs. And of course, the Maricopa County Supervisor of Elections officials in another party who is also involved in all of this, as the judge has granted her access to ballots, to have a sample of them to see the accuracy of these ballots as a huge train point. And this whole thing that is currently going on, because if they're able to prove they sorted percentage of those ballots that are ineligible, then that leads to a whole slew of new questions and things that are going to be taking place, and we're going to see how this turns out. Even Tim Pool recently on his podcast, on his Tim Pool live cast set, speculated on what could eventually happen if they do find these inconsistencies in these ballots, to where the judge will put a stay on Katie Hobbs becoming governor and possibly having Ducey continue to serve as governor until this thing is completely resolved. That would be huge. That would be huge, and all of that. So let's go ahead and dive into what we have going on here. And it says judge grants Kari Lake request to examine Maricopa County ballots in preparation for trial. The judge in Maricopa County has ordered to Kari Lake petition to inspect ballots in the county from the 2022 midterm election to be granted. The Lake campaign will have to designate a ballot inspector and provide the court with contact information for them by Friday at 12 p.m. This inspection would begin on December 20, 2022 at 8 a.m. I think that's a Tuesday. If I'm looking at my dates correctly, The Light campaign also asked to review 50 random select a ballot on demand printed ballots cast on Election Day from 6 vote centers of Maricopa County chosen by her representative's second, 50 randomly selected early ballots cast in 2022 general election from 6 separate Maricopa County batches chosen by her representative third, 50 randomly selected early ballot envelopes for early ballots cast in Maricopa County into 2022 election, and fourth, 50 random selected It Be God ballots that were marked spoiled on Election Day from 6 separate Maricopa County vote centers chosen by her representative. So it is unclear, So we come down here. And we look, this order, however, is dependent on Kari Lake's petition surviving the motions to dismiss that will be filed over this weekend. So far, we haven't seen anything because the only thing we have, Katie Hobbs' motion to dismiss, was submitted earlier today. And the rule is still under pending. It's still a pending ruling. And so what we have here is it looks like it will go forward, and Kari Lake will have access to these ballot batches to examine them. And to see whether or not there were issues going on. And this will again propel the conversation even further to see where it goes from here. It's going to be something that we need to continue to keep our eye out on and continue to support Kari Lake in this effort. I know she has lots of ways that you can help donate to her legal defense fund. And that's, you follow her over Kari Lake on Twitter. You can check out her website as far as Kari Lake I Know for Governor and things like that, and I'm sure there's plenty of ways you can help continue to support her if that's what you are looking to do. But she is fighting, and she's going to fight to the very end to prove what took place on Election Day in Arizona within Maricopa County. And these election centers where they had machines failing at high rates. She's going to prove it to the people of Arizona and possibly the rest of the United States that does not want to touch us with a 10-foot pole. And there's reasons why they don't want to do that. And this is some big news. The White House admits President Biden took stolen money from FTX for his campaign and says he won't be giving the money back as the Federal Reserve purposely trying to crash the economy and your retirement accounts. More damning details about the media lead cover-up of the Hunter Biden laptop story come out, and election specialists say Governor Gavin Newsom of California is secretly preparing to run for president. Joe Biden has been criticized for accepting campaign donations from disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, one of the largest Ponzi schemes ever in the world. Now, Biden's press secretary was questioned about if Biden will return the donated money, but she stated that she could not speak about it. Free donated $40 million to the Democrat Party in order to get people elected. And it's just now come out that President Biden was one of those. Now, I'm having a really hard time believing that the President of the United States is not planning to return stolen money. I'm shocked. Other Democrats in Congress are chiding their cohorts, saying, how does giving money to charity in any way help the people that have their life savings stolen from them? Now you're forcing these charities to accept stolen money, dirty money. Dirty money to a good cause is not good, right? Now, I'm sure there's people that don't know what to do. But the bankruptcy courts will come for this money. And if you're trying to look magnanimous, by donating to charity, you're making yourself look bad, and you're making the charity look bad. Like, oh hey, we're from the Salvation Army, we accept stolen money. That's what they're doing, right? So these people are trying to get this guilt off their chest, and this money away from them, but the bankruptcy courts will come for it. And instead, they're now making these charities look bad. But as of right now, President Biden's White House is saying he's not returning the money. Now, ever since Elon Musk about Twitter, he has been on high alert that his life or his family's life might be in danger. Well, just last night, someone followed a car that had his son in it. The person blocked the car from moving and climbed on top of the hood. Following the incident, Musk indicated that a Twitter user who tracks his movement in real time is likely responsible for giving up his location and the safety of his family. Therefore, Musk has banned this person's Twitter account and has changed Twitter's terms of services to ban people from being able to say where other people are or where they live. While safety is a big issue for him, funding the $45 billion acquisition of Twitter is not an easy task. Must have sold $3.6 billion of Tesla stock to help cover the bill. Musk had previously alluded to the Federal Reserve's increase rate hike is making it much more expensive for him to buy Twitter and hold the debt. The interest alone on buying Twitter will be over $1 billion a year. So it's going to make it very hard for Musk to do this. But he's been able to do very, very hard things in the past, and many people believe. Now, speaking of rate hikes, the Federal Reserve has just raised interest rates by 50 basis points. The federal funds rate now sits at 4.5%. It's the highest it's been since 2007. Now, stockbroker Peter Schiff stated that he believes the Fed's rate hike will trigger a financial crisis. However, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell stated, "I don't think anyone knows whether there's going to be a recession or not. And if we do, whether it's going to be a deep one or not, it's not knowable. Now our economy is not in a great position right now. But many are worried that this is going to make it worse by making the cost of money for individuals and businesses more expensive." The stock market is reacting negatively to the rate hike announced by Jerome Powell. All the major indexes today are down by over 2.5% in one day. That's a big drop. Even gold and silver are reacting poorly, or possibly people are pulling out of gold and silver in order to cover margin calls. So they're leaving sound money in order to cover risky money. Oddly enough, Bitcoin and Ethereum were only down on about 1.5%, but they may not have had more to go down since they've already taken a hit because of Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX scandal. Now more information has come out about the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up story. According to reports today, the director for the National Intelligence, this is the person that knows more about national security than even a sitting president, told media outlets, the Hunter Biden laptop story was not Russian disinformation, that it was a true story, and that the laptop had been left by Hunter Biden at a repair shop, so it wasn't stolen, and it wasn't hacked. Now the laptop has horrible images, drug use details of illegal foreign business dealings, and ample proof that Hunter Biden and James Biden, the president's son, were milking then Vice President Biden's name in order to get billion-dollar deals from Ukraine, and also from China. This is when the media decided to write a story about this being fake news. This is when 50 former intelligence officers signed a sworn affidavit that this story was false, and that it was Russian propaganda to smear then presidential candidate Joe Biden while running for president, but they knew for a fact that was a lie, that the director of national intelligence knew this was all a lie. No wonder people don't trust the news and the media today, right? Like, did you know that people trust car salesmen more than US media? Pretty sad, right? Yesterday, I reported that former President Donald Trump said he had a major announcement coming out today. Well, it wasn't an announcement, but I don't think it was major. Now, in the wake of the Twitter files, Trump has stated that he will be making some changes if he becomes president. Again, he stated, "I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business or person to censor, limit, categorize or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as misinformation or disinformation." So basically, He's saying he will build a wall between the federal government and social media platforms. Senator Rand Paul has called out Republicans for lying to their voter base. He said based on the pork Republicans are putting in this end-of-year spending bill in the pork they're allowing opponents of the Democrat Party to put in, the Republican Party can no longer call itself fiscally conservative. He said, "This is a big lie. The party says vote for us, because we will be wise with taxpayer money. But then they spend billions and allow billions of taxpayer dollars to go towards earmarked bills, and basically just pork. Right? I mean, think how much wasteful money is going into this end of your spending bill. And they purposely put pressure on these members of Congress so that they don't miss out on Christmas with their family. The whole thing is an organized crap show." But anyway, he's coming out against his own party for this hypocrisy. New data shows 59% of Democrats want Biden to not run for president in 2024. They want new leadership. Now I'm curious to know from you, who you think is going to step up and run either against Biden, or if Biden sits it out as the Democrat nominee. I think Governor Gavin Newsom of California is quietly gearing up to run its count. It's come out that Gavin Newsom has visited the southern border and has openly talked about it being a crisis. He also has said publicly that illegal immigration is about to break the state of California. He said he loves that California is a sanctuary state, and they will do all they can, but there's only so much taxpayer money to go around, and that it is breaking the state of California. Now many see this as Gavin Newsom starting to build his campaign to take on Joe Biden. One of the best tactics to win independent votes would be to declare a border crisis caused by President Biden and then push for immigration reform, which would then capture and secure Democrats. So basically, go after the independents, pick up a few Republicans and then bring in the Democrats based on the border crisis situation. Now, Gavin Newsom has officially visited the border more than Kamala Harris and Joe Biden combined. President Biden is giving $55 billion of American taxpayer money to the continent of Africa as a way of saying sorry for being involved in slavery. Now, many people here in the States are confused by his gesture, since many people in Africa sold their own country, men and women, into slavery for money. And now they're saying, why isn't Biden giving descendants of slaves here in the United States that $55 billion? Why is he giving it away to Africa? Now, let me know your thoughts down below. What we know so far is that President Biden is one of the most generous presidents we've ever seen. I just wish he would use his own money and not taxpayer money. But what do you think about this? He's now saying we're giving $55 billion of reparations to the continent of Africa, and not to the ancestors of people that were involved in slavery here in the United States. I mean, it's crazy. But this is what's in the news today. Let me know your thoughts down below. Reports since surfaced that the United States is planning to send Patriot air defense missiles to Ukraine. These systems are very advanced and would greatly benefit Ukraine in defending itself against missile attacks. However, the Russian embassy warned the United States if this is confirmed, we will witness yet another provocative step by the administration, which can lead to unpredictable consequences. Continued delivery of arms will only strengthen that Zelensky resumes sense of impunity, and push it to new crimes against civilians in Donbas, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia receipt regions. So basically Russia is saying we know how powerful these weapons are. And Ukraine is now using your weapons to fire on Russia. If you send these we will consider it an escalation of provocation and basically saying we cannot predict what kind of consequences will come out of this. So it is escalating the war between NATO and Putin, if they send in this missile defense system. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button to watch the next episode.